land sea goes traditional. In the second half of our show, we'll visit Pancook Island, where the art of making sauerkraut is still alive. But first, we're in the beautiful Gaspereau Valley, where for centuries, fishing for Gaspereau has been an annual rite of spring. This is the Gaspereau Valley, about 100 kilometers west of Halifax. For 300 years, it's been a farming community. It's spring, and at the mouth of the river, the fish are waiting for the water to warm up. It's time for the annual run-up river to spawn. They're called Gaspereau, a type of herring. They live in the ocean, spawn in lakes. When the run starts about the 1st of May, the farmers drop everything to go fishing. There are 16 nets like this in the valley. Darren Davidson's is the last one up the river. For the rest of the year, Darren works the family dairy farm with his father and brother, but he spends most of May down on the river. It can get hectic.
The fish are coming as fast as you can fish them out. You put your net and you scoop them off and you just drop your net back into the water and go up and just jump again. It's just a continuous cycle all day long. And, well, we're the last net on the river and, well, one day we caught, well, 14,000 pounds or so. So that's not too bad.
Fishing Gaspereau is a family tradition in the valley. Darren's mother, Hulda, sneaks away from her chores to come down and lend a hand.
You don't have to jump on the pole now, are you?
There's something coming on.
Okay. I can hardly wait for spring to come. No, that the fish are coming up that river. And I think the whole valley feels the same way.
They're well alive.
Down the river, neighbors out too. Ellis Gertridge tends a net that's been in the family for a long time.
It's been fished continuously for the last 90 years that I know of. They came into the family farm back at that time, and I know that it was fished before that, so who knows how long there's been a net here. It could have gone back to New England planters, back to the 1760s, quite easily. What we're looking at here now is the approaches to our square net, and the effort is to, when we're constructing these nets, is to make it appear as though the water isn't being a trap.
The rocks are put partway across to guide the fish into the net.
There's more fish goes by than what we catch, by a whole lot.
But Darren is ready for the ones that get by Ellis's net. The rocks are an added incentive to the fish. They don't run hard all the time. When the run slows down, it's time to take a break. and catch up on some farm chores. Ellis Gertridge has the perfect setup for a month on the river. His fish shed is right there, and out back is his garden.
Everybody likes to go fishing, and I love to go fishing too, but I can do my fishing here and still do my work. I've got a garden here. I can till my garden and catch fish. I can maybe get some early peas planted, and then I can hoe my peas and catch fish.
Some days there's even time to show his grandson Mark how to make a whistle from an alder branch.
You take the stick and cut it off here. You get a nice little spot on it. You know what the big problem is now?
You make a hole.
No, not yet. We got to get the bark off. And you gently have to tap it a little bit. And then we'll take it off. Ready? But we'll put it back on again, so now it's sure to get off. And we'll make you a little hole in.
Can you make wood?
Like this. And then we'll take it back off. Save that. Mark, you be able to make your own tomorrow?
Yes, I think I can.
You think you can?
Yes.
Don't cut your fingers.
No.
Ah. Now blow that. Can you blow it? That's the way. There you go.
How long have you been fishing this river?
Since I was going to school and heavy enough to hoist that net out, I guess. About, we'll say 40 years? 50 years?
You've
50.
been modest.
50 years, we'll say.
What are your earliest memories of being down here?
Oh, oftentimes rush home from school and come down and be here alone and maybe catch a few fish and maybe even make a whistle in those days.
What do you know of the history of this fishery?
History and prehistory, or pre-written history. I didn't like history in school and never got a good mark in it. But I got interested in earlier people than the white people here. I have a few arrowheads. I found a lot, but I just picked a handful here that I had found. And this one is the evidence that might be that of close to what they call the Folsom Point. The Folsom Point was used in the United States back about 10,000 years ago, and it appears that people are after these fish and lived off of them as part of their existence as far back as maybe 8,000 years ago, and maybe older.
But it's not all romance. There is the business end of fishing.
There are a number of people that like to have a feed of Gaspereau, and it's not that expensive meal. But here I don't catch as many fish as some, and if I can dress a dozen fish, hoist a net, and go dress another dozen fish, hoist a net, I'm earning a little extra money and keeping busy, and I think making some people happy that they don't have to dress fish.
But the saltfish has its own market. Most of it goes to Haiti in the West Indies. The fish from this river alone is worth $250,000 a year. Darrell Reed has the first net on the river. In 1 month, he can make a substantial portion of the year's income fishing. Last year, it was close to $20,000. And the buyer comes right to the door. Lloyd Smith is a fish broker. Every spring, he visits the Gaspereau fishermen to make the deal.
Good to see you again,
How are
Daryl.
you?
I see you're getting a few fish.
Yeah, there's a few coming today.
How many do you think you've got on pickle?
Haitians have salt fish from Nova Scotia for hundreds of years.
50 barrels. Now, is there any price or anything that's...
Well, we're talking on the shipment going out in the area of $18 per pail.
Right, yeah.
FOB.
It started as a source of cheap food for slaves. The taste for Gaspereau has stuck.
It looks good because the river's been slow the last 2 or 3 years. It's time we started to get more fish.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Yep. Okay.
Today, it's reached a point where it's sort of a very select food for a lot of the Haitians, primarily because the income of Haitians is still very, very low.
But for the local population, catching is one thing, eating another. Here's what they look like after 2 weeks in salt.
I'm not really a salt fish fanatic. I guess I prefer my steak. I lose my appetite when they look like this, I guess.
But the export market to Haiti is valuable, and the fish from Gaspereau are in demand. That means the government keeps a close watch on quality. So after the fish is packed, inspectors come to spot check the shipment.
How's she going, guys?
How are you today?
Not too bad.
Okay.
Yep, all kinds of them. Hope you brought your lunch today.
Danny Hanniger has a sharp eye.
What I'm looking for when I open up the pail of fish, the first thing I'm going to do is push down on the top of the pickle, see if anything floats to the top, because it's supposed to be clean pickle. So you're looking for maggots, flies, hay, well, whatever can fall into it. And then I'll just start examining the fish. I'll look at the condition of the fish. If the fish isn't well struck, I'll cut into them and take a look at the flesh inside, along the backbone. That's a well-struck fish. There's nothing wrong with that fish.
And then there's the famous sniff test. Do you trust your nose?
Sure do. It's my bread and butter.
A final check for weight, and the shipment is ready to be packed in a container. Destination Haiti. It's a world away from springtime on the Gaspereau. We'll be back in 2 minutes with a visit to Cook Island, where they still make the best sauerkraut in Nova Scotia.
Everyone asks, Corinthian leather? Of course, why not the best? It's the same with our new Chrysler New Yorker. It gives you everything. Fuel-injected V6, anti-lock brakes,